Good morning. It's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM joining you on the Jerry Valeri show today.
Yes.
So here's what I've got. Actually, I'm not even sure it's going to allow me to show me. Just the Kiss FM logo. No, it's not even. According to me, I can't even flip to me. Dude, I'm having so many computer problems in here. And my engineers, from what I understand, are working on it. I don't know how we're going to... This is a new computer we have in here. And when they ran updates, yes, north of a month ago, nothing has been working. It has been embarrassing how everything is breaking. And now we can't even see me. I believe we can hear me. I don't think we've established an audience yet because it's only been a minute or so, but I'll ask once we get some live people to let me know if you can in fact hear me. But I believe I can be heard.
I'll tell you, normally I feel badly for you. I feel no sympathy for you whatsoever today. Earlier this morning, I'm on the air, and right in the middle of a break. And I'm sure you've experienced things like this where there's a technical difficulty while you're talking. I'm in the middle of the story, and I'm looking up at the computers here, and I'm just reading my notes, and then I hear an audible pop. Poof. And it startles me. It's almost like a bird flew into the window beside me. But it wasn't a bird because I didn't see feathers or a dead bird. Instead, I started to smell smoke and see smoke. And underneath the desk here, stuff was burning.
Oh my gosh, there was a fire?
The computer fried and just let out a death rattle of smoke.
Holy cow.
All black. Everything behind me. The computers are just black. They're just dead. Now, fortunately, our automation still works, but all the phone calls, all the audio, everything. I was an hour and a half in, and to a 4-hour show, and everything just went away. And I called the engineer, and all he said was, "Well, I'm not going to get there till about noon today, so I guess you're just going to have to roll with whatever's in your head." And I was like, "Okay, great." So I went on the air, and I made fun of him for 2 hours.
So wait a minute. Was this your on-air computer? Like a station on air?
Yeah, no, we were still playing music.
Okay.
So the on-air was still working, our automation was working, but it was everything else that I use. Everything. All of my prep, all of my websites, all of my phone calls, the ability to record people when they call in to talk on the radio, all of it gone.
All right, so you're going to love this. So Steve said, you can hear me. Jerry's echoing. That should make sense. I should have fixed it. Steve, can you just confirm for me, bud? I'd appreciate it.
Why am I still echoing all the time? Are you just never hitting the right button anymore?
Jer, to answer your question, yes, that is correct. It's because I've been scrambling, Kat see me in here, for the last hour trying to figure out how to get this podcast off the ground during the radio show. You know what I mean? So,
right.
So if you could just let me know, Steve, if things sound better now or if I need to fix things more, I'd appreciate it. Steve's actually he's going to be coming in here after post to post. We used to do a video game podcast, and we're bringing one back today. So Steve's going to come in a little bit, and I'm excited to do a podcast with him today.
What's the name of that puppy?
The 16-bit Superstars. We did a first season. We had maybe 20 episodes or so, and then we kind of took a break from them. And we found a topic today that we wanted to talk about, including 4 new video games going into the National Video Game Hall of Fame this year. So we're going to come in and do a podcast. Steve says we sound good. And this is probably going to be the best looking podcast because it's just stuck on Jer today. So did you watch Raw last night?
I did. I watched it on a second TV. I had a 2 TV setup going on because I had to watch the Penguins. Go Penguins. And while they were on at the exact same time, it went from 8 to 11:08 on both TVs. They both started and ended at the same time.
Where are the Stanley Cup playoffs right now? Are they in the finals?
The Eastern Conference Finals. So you've got the Penguins taking on the Ottawa Senators on the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Western Conference Finals, the Nashville Predators and Anaheim Ducks.
The Washington.
No, the Washington Capitals have been flushed.
Oh, who are you playing? Who's the Penguins playing?
Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, go them.
Come on, don't be a dummy.
Dude, I hate the Penguins.
Well, I don't know why, though. It's an irrational dislike.
No, it's not. I'm a Flyers fan, and the Penguins are like our rivals, and I just think that I just can't stand them. I'm not the sports guy, so I'm not gonna do this right now. I mean, you win. You guys are in the playoffs, but I can't stand the Penguins. So they got to beat this team, and then they go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and then we'll stop hearing about them.
Yes.
What's the series standing at right now?
1 game apiece. So you're looking at another month of hockey.
Yeah. Great. Cool. Oh, brother. I'm having a morning, man. Let's get started if you don't mind.
Let's go. I have no notes because I can't see anything on my computer.
Yeah, well,
so let's just roll.
I can have my phone open because no one can see me. So I can just look at my notes. If I dare
you can pull your junk out. Nobody can see you.
Thank you for that. Maybe I'll lose a bet and I'll pull it right out on camera.
Go for it.
Let's go ahead and start with yo, you know what? I made this note too. We got a comment on one of our YouTube, the previous YouTube video, not the one. So the one where Jerry loves transvestites, that one. Just kidding. The one with the photos. Someone
Charlotte, the 14,000 video Charlotte.
Yeah, but your retraction is in the last episode.
70 people saw that.
Not even 50.
Shoot me in the face.
So someone asked if that was a Christmas tree in the background of your shot, and I can see clearly that it is now. What's the story there?
It is. Well, and I was in a different studio at that time. I keep a Christmas tree in each studio.
You do that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What's the story?
Christmas makes me happy. I like to have Christmas trees. I have Christmas decorations all over my desk. I have Christmas tree in the Magic studio, here in the Froggy studio, and then I only decorate it around Christmas, but it's around here the whole year because I like Christmas. Because who wouldn't like Christmas?
I love Christmas, but I don't know that I want to see a Christmas tree in May.
Ask Steve. I guarantee Steve loves this idea. Steve is a huge Christmas crazy.
Well, I know Steve loves Christmas too, but I doubt he's got a Christmas tree up anywhere, really.
I bet you he's got something Christmassy hanging around.
Oh, something.
That's what I have. So, yeah, I have a Christmas tree. I like that in all those comments of that video because I saw that too. It was like, why are they so excited? She's basically a dude. Ugly. This guy's crazy. He likes transvestites. Is that a Christmas tree? Yes, it is. Yes, it's a Christmas tree.
All right, let's get started. So, the start of Raw. Well, there's good things and there's bad things. The first thing that jumped out at me was Steve has a snowman in his bedroom, according to a message I just got.
I knew it. I just knew it.
So, start of Raw. I was happy that things got back on track as far as the title is now the focal point. Lesnar's coming up. Yes, we're stringing it along. I know it's not the next pay-per-view, which is Sunday, and it's not even the next pay-per-view, which is Extreme Rules, where we'll determine the number one contender. But the following pay-per-view, if not the one after that, I don't know if SmackDown has Money in the Bank. So we're booking for 4 or 5 pay-per-views down the road. Now that I think about it.
Brock Lesnar is not coming back till right before SummerSlam. This is ridiculous.
So, but actually, that wasn't my complaint. My only real complaint from the first segment was that this is another stacked promo getting a show started. It's Raw, it's SmackDown, it's just these waterfall type. That's how Mike describes them on the post show. They're just so organized. They're not thought out. It's just so structured that it makes me sick. I'm so tired.
It's lazy booking. It's lazy writing.
And I don't know that I'm thrilled about the Fatal 5-Way match, but at least we're booking for the title right now.
Well, for me, it was another waterfall. It was another stacked promo. At least this time it was pretty good. It was a good one. It had a purpose in the beginning. Kurt Angle needed to be out there. They needed to address Braun Strowman. He's a major player on Raw, and he's gone for 6 months. They needed to address it.
By the way, it's so funny. I know you didn't experience this, but here in Evansville, so during they've got this promo, Braun Strowman's going to be out for 6 months. Then they go to a commercial break. They advertise Raw locally here in Evansville, June 19th, featuring Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
They'll be changing that up.
I bet. Though, dude, for some reason, those matches never happen. I don't even know why they advertise matches. Every match they advertise for a TV taping never happens.
It doesn't happen. They want to remind you who's on their show, I think.
The matches that they advertise nationally, like the matches that they talk about on Raw, when they say, next week this will happen, that's one thing. But for local advertising, I don't even know why they try.
Yeah, I've never seen a match where, we get a lot of house shows now. So when they tell us a match is coming, we do get a match.
Yeah, house shows are different. I'm talking about TV tapings.
But this whole stack promo thing, it was at least well done. I don't like the Fatal 5-Way because you're going to once again have a pay-per-view with not enough main players to get you through a 3-hour card.
Hey, let me ask you this. Why do you think it was well done? Because I'm not sure I agree with that.
I just didn't hate it like the other ones. I liked what people were saying, and I liked the way that people delivered stuff. It's if I can separate, and I feel like with the WWE, you either have to learn to accept what they're going to do, or you're just going to complain about it every week. The stack promo, it just seems like that's how they're going to tell a story now. That's all they do. And I bet you we see one tonight to start SmackDown Live. And it sucks. So I try to find the silver lining in it. And the silver lining this time was I thought that everybody at least had some energy again after those London shows.
Okay.
Man, people that usually deliver on the mic weren't delivering for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Last night they were. Finn Balor had me interested. Samoa Joe's fine. I like him talking more than I like him wrestling at this point. I just can't get into Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
I can't get into Seth Rollins. He was my least favorite in the ring last night. Forget Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins is becoming my least favorite main event caliber guy.
I'll say this. You're right. The energy was better than last week's opening promo from the UK. This is why I'm a big proponent of live, whether it be radio or wrestling. I feel like when there's a fail-safe in the back of your head, when you're totally aware that this could be redone if we need it to be, you act differently. And I feel like that live atmosphere, it takes you to a different part of your head and your gut that a taped atmosphere doesn't give you. Now, I do want to say this. While I did like having Angle out there and that got things off to a good start, I thought that, and I hate to keep saying this, and I still believe it to be true, though. And I want him to get there. I'm not anti this guy. I just feel like in that opening promo, with all the characters they had there, one person felt out of place to me. And it wasn't Joe. It was Finn. And I know Finn's a real capable worker. I know Finn is capable of having great matches. But because we bypassed the entire build for Finn Balor on the main roster, and because of his size, when you multiply those two things together, he seems, remember, this is someone who's just feuding with The Miz at the beginning of on the pre-show of the last pay-per-view. I feel like he's really out of place in this match from a regular fan's perspective, from someone who doesn't read all the news sites, who hasn't seen all of Finn Balor's matches. I don't think he fits yet.
Well, and I don't agree with that, but I at the same time I agree with parts of it. I agree with the fact that, like, I think, because I see a main eventer in him. I do. And I think that you do too.
I do
too.
Just
want. He doesn't need to be put into a fatal 5-way. He doesn't need to be put into a situation with 4 other main eventers for a title shot. He didn't need all these random matches. He needs kind of what Shinsuke Nakamura is getting right now. He needs one or two good, solid feuds with good workers that will elevate his game.
Give the audience something to really relate with Finn, because we've had nothing to cling to yet. Because they had the first little build, not enough to really have the casual fan attach themselves to him. And then he got injured, and I know that sucks. And then he's come back, and I feel like they still haven't given myself and the casual fan a reason to really love Finn yet.
He needs a story.
He needs a story. He needs a good feud or two, maybe a secondary title run to let us know who he is, what his deal is, and why he belongs at the top of the card. I do think he's capable of it. I know he's capable of it now, but we have bypassed the proper steps here, and that annoys me, and I wish they'd fix it.
You want to tell a story?
I want to tell a story. That's all I want. And this is not me coming down on Finn.
I think if they decided to tell a story with him and Roman Reigns, it would be a good story. So far, they've had 2 really good matches. Each of them have traded wins. I say keep going with it, but it's all about this fatal 5-way now. This fatal 5-way is going to happen, and then you're going to have the #1 contender hanging around waiting for Brock for 2 months.
Let me tell you what I would do with Finn. Let me fantasy book for a second.
Fantasy booking.
Thank you. Why even have Finn on Miz TV on the pre-show? Have him get into a fight with The Miz on the pre-show, and then totally forget it ever happened. I would have taken that, start a program with The Miz for or not for the Intercontinental title, but let it go for a month or two. From there, have him graduate on to Bray Wyatt, who there seems like a natural feud there with the Demon King. So
culminating at SummerSlam. What a cool match that would be.
Yeah, like how about this? Let Finn get over on Miz at a pay-per-view. Miz wants retribution at the next pay-per-view. Finn does that one as the Demon King. That for some reason upsets Bray Wyatt, who's not otherwise booked on that pay-per-view. Attacks Demon King after the match or impacts the match or whatever. Miz can get his win back, and then Finn can move on to a feud with Bray Wyatt. Bray can get Finn and the Demon character over. Notice I said character because it could really give legs to what Finn's alter ego, quote unquote, should be. Otherwise, it's just an entrance. And from there, he just beat a main eventer in a feud. You can then move him into a main event position. That's the way it should be done.
I think WWE is just all about entrances at this point and not the characters surrounding them. They're going to do it with the Demon, where the Demon King is not a character. It's just an entrance. Naomi is just an entrance. They put a championship on her entrance.
That's a very good point.
And it's and I'm sure when Bobby Roode comes up from NXT, they're going to do it with his entrance too. Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance. It's just entrances.
Right now, Nakamura is just an entrance, but we know he's capable of more, and we'll probably see it here soon. But they're doing Shinsuke right. I just wish they'd do Finn right. And again, this is not me coming down on him. We can move past this now if you want to.
Okay. Let's move on. But I don't know. What are we going to move into? Like, I thought the show overall was pretty sloppy, slow, and bad.
Yeah, so here's some things I liked and things I didn't like. I hate to sound like a repeat. Lots of rematches. They even called the Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks match a return match. At least it kind of had a storyline reason why they'd fight 2 weeks in a row. But it does annoy me because it's become my mantra here on the show is these rematches driving me nuts. Not to mention that you had Ambrose and Miz, who have been in a heavy feud on SmackDown, have wrestled numerous times on SmackDown, and now it's the red rope stipulation. This time the match has red ropes as opposed to the blue ones. That annoyed me a little bit. However, if I could praise that match, first of all, it was good. Second of all, I don't know what it was about this match. I get this only from time to time outside of main events. But for whatever they did for that match, it had what I call the big fight feel. And while I wouldn't have bet on it, I got the feeling that the title could have changed hands last night. And I know it didn't, but it seemed like it could have happened last night.
It had the potential, I thought, to be the match of the night. It didn't end up being the match of the night for me, but it had the. It was all because of the finish that it wasn't. It could have been. They're saving it for pay-per-view. I do feel Miz is going to get out of this feud with the championship.
Miz is so over for me right now. I think he's, he might be my favorite on the show right now. I'm not sure who I like to see more on Raw right now. It could be possible that there's another choice, but Miz makes me excited. Miz gets my blood pumping right now. It makes me happy. So,
yeah, me too. I've been on board with him since he really started stepping it up on SmackDown after the draft. Like, I think he's the big draft winner.
Yeah, you know what? Because we were talking about people like Heath Slater, but he fell off. Other big draft winners, some of the women, especially on SmackDown, but that's gotten sloppy. Yeah, I mean, someone like Miz might be the big winner of the draft. Maybe we should do in July, like we could talk about who has been big winners and losers from the draft.
Yeah, and I think Miz has got to be the top of those lists because, I mean, he was kind of an also ran on Raw, and I wasn't paying attention to him, and then he went to SmackDown, and he just stepped it up.
Let me ask you this, though. Let me throw another name at you. Big winner of the draft, maybe even more so than Miz. What about Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, she was given an opportunity to get out from under all those other women, and just long enough to show her stuff.
But she got called up in the draft. And look at her career. She's actually, if we're going to be honest and we're going to play totally fair, Bliss has been a bigger draft winner than Miz.
Okay, her and Braun Strowman probably too.
Strowman was
he was just a stooge.
He was a stooge for Bray Wyatt at the time of the draft, and while he's been a little start and stop, he's been another huge winner. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Trying to think of other good examples. Those three have to be the right answers, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so. I would have said, I guess we'll do it in July, but, you could argue for Bray Wyatt. He won a championship over on SmackDown where I don't think he was going to get it on Raw, but it wasn't as glaring. It wasn't as big a jump for Bray as it was for the others that we mentioned.
Another name that was a pretty big win. I'm not sure the draft is what did it, but, Ellsworth was literally nothing before all this stuff. He had a nice little run that completely exceeded his potential. And he's still a guy I like seeing. I think he's actually being used pretty well. He doesn't need to be stuffed down our throats. In fact, I'm actually curious. I'd love to know what Steve thinks about where Ellsworth is, because I know when he was being forced down our throats, Steve was very anti-Ellsworth, where we were still laughing and enjoying it. Steve was really over it. Now that he's kind of being used in the women's division, not taking up as much of the main event screen time, I'm curious as to if he's come around on him or not.
I just thought he was being used in a really creative way, and it was really refreshing to watch them give this guy wins over AJ Styles and show how cool AJ Styles was to just let this guy get wins, because he saw the bigger picture, the longer story, the arc. And it was, I thought it was really well done. I mean, Ellsworth was really just a full-sized hornswoggle for a bit, but but he got a full-time gig out of it, and his life has completely changed, and he seems like one of those guys that has a good attitude about wrestling. So I kind of root for Ellsworth.
I do too, and that was a great way to sum him up, a full-sized hornswoggle. That was great. So if I don't hear from Steve here in the messages, I'll ask him when I see him here in a few.
Sure.
What else do I want to hit on from last night?
Do you know what I liked a lot that I didn't think I was going to like when the match was going on? I was like, I was paying attention to hockey, and then all of a sudden, Goldust just starts beating the hell out of R-Truth. I like seeing a serious Goldust. I wouldn't mind seeing a heel Goldust. Okay, freshen it up a bit.
Here's my thing. While I'm 100% on board with you, I know the way WWE writes. I know the way they book, and I feel like this is going to be dropped immediately. I think they had it happen, and then they're both about to get buried. They may have a match at the pay-per-view on like the pre-show. that's it. You won't see it again.
Wouldn't it be cool though to see an evil Goldust playing mind games with people? Like actually give him a good spot on the mid card for a change.
Won't happen. It would be great. He's been one of my favorite characters since his debut. He was one of the first characters. Like, so I started watching wrestling in 1994, and there are like, you know, a few that sprinkled in before him. Like I think Hakushi came before him, and Kama I remember. But so back in the mid 90s, you know, there'd still be the old school vignettes to build people. Mm-hmm. And boy, his vignettes really grabbed my attention. So he was one of the first like big stars that I felt like I saw debut and really grew to be like his own thing. He's one of my favorite characters in wrestling. So I'd love to see him be used more, but it's not going to happen. Steve?
One of the guys, when I think of vignettes to build a guy, I loved the Val Venus ones.
Those were great. Mr. Perfect had great ones. Razor Ramon had great ones. Yeah, there were a lot of good stuff in there. Steve, by the way, he had a quote. Hold on. He absolutely hates James Ellsworth. I'll quote him. Give me a second. Okay.
Now when they use vignettes to build a character, they use it to build Emelina and Lana. Like that. Or the Shining Stars. Shoot me.
Steve says, I don't like Ellsworth at all. He's the equivalent of when Kevin Federline was on the show. Thumbs down. I don't agree, but I understand that. I'm not too surprised, but I was wondering if he had come around at all on that.
That's a big old no from Steve.
I'll give the Raw another positive, even though I'd give it probably last night a thumbs in the middle. I'm not even sure I would say it was thumbs down. Another thing they did well. Are you reacting to that?
I was going to ask you a question, but go ahead, continue your thought.
Another thing they did well was while they did have a few rematches, some of those matches at the end, including the fact that they even pointed out a few times, some really fresh matches too. Like, was it Rollins and Bray had never fought before? I was glad they pointed that out, if nothing else.
They'd never fought before in a singles match, and yet somehow that match felt like not a big deal. It didn't have a main event feel to me. I thought the Finn Roman Reigns match would have been a better fit for the main event.
Yeah, and also it's Seth. He's having a tough time as a babyface, man. He really is. There's
do you think he realizes it?
Yes, I do. Trying to think of what else. You had a question.
Yeah, that was my question when you said it was a good show. Was did you like the main event? Because I actually didn't.
I gotta be honest with you. When the wrestling was happening, I was social mediaing. I'm in no position. I did watch the Miz and Ambrose match. I feel like I could talk about if that match's quality. I paid a little bit of attention to Finn and Reigns because it seemed like they were kind of on fire a little bit. Finn puts on great matches for sure. And
he puts on great matches, and it's about time we say that about Roman Reigns. I know that he's like tofu. But he's in more good matches than he is bad.
I don't disagree with that. My problem is never really with him in the ring. It's just everything else. You know?
And he's going to win that Fatal 5-Way. I'm sticking to my rule. I hate to lock in on a Fatal 5-Way already, but I'm not picking against Roman Reigns ever again.
Well, you said that last month and you wound up being wrong.
I know. So it's like a double-edged sword, but if me picking him every week or every month jinxes him and he never wins again, then I'm going to continue doing that too.
That works for me too. Okay, we can chat again after SmackDown. Did the Penguins play tonight?
No, they play tomorrow night.
All right, maybe we can try to watch SmackDown tonight. Maybe do an episode tomorrow if you want to.
Absolutely. We just have to have computers at work. I know mine is still steaming and smoking, and I don't know about yours, but we'll figure it out.
It's day by day in here, man. It's day by day. All right.
We could change the name of the podcast to Technical Difficulties with Rob and Jerry.
Or what about just Post? It's just it's not Post to Post this time. It's just Jerry's Post.
It's just a Post. Nobody needs the camera trained on me for 30 minutes, by the way. That's a problem.
I wish, dude, I better you than me. I'll say that much.
It's just me and Mr. Froggy in here and my Christmas tree.
Hey, by the way, is that wall of pictures still up?
Yes.
Okay. Joey. I thought he was done.
He is. He's not even here anymore, but no one's taking it down.
What are you doing? Why are you on the phone with me and not taking that down right now?
And you know what? I just set fire to it. I'll just put it close to the computer. I'll take the computer over to it and let it burn it down.
Dude, if you want to bring it down on a podcast, feel free. It'd be great.
You would love that.
I would.
You'd love it.
All right, listen. Anything else you want to throw in from Raw last night?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. From myself, who you can't see, but I'm here, the Rob, and my tag team partner in podcasting, Mr. Jerry Valet. Thanks for watching Post to Post. If you're on our YouTube channel, Steve and I will talk about video games here in about half an hour or so as soon as he gets down here. So thanks, everyone, for watching, and we will see you hopefully tomorrow with another episode of Post to Post.